What's up? This is Jimfro from Ready Check Pull, and this is the Need to Know Guide for Heroic and Normal Zool. I have a cold, so don't mind my voice. This fight's all about controlling ads and managing dispels. Before the fight starts, you need 4 markers down to help with callouts. You'll also need 2 separate dispel rotation groups, but we'll go more into that later. So starting on phase 1, you'll engage the boss, Bloodlust, and AoE the ads down quickly. The boss isn't actually tanked in the first phase, so one tank needs to aggro all the ads while the other tank taunts and faces the crusher away from the raid. Try and keep the ads tanked next to the boss to make it easier to cleave. DPS will be damaging the boss, making sure to prioritize ads first. The Ickers heal the boss, Blood Hexers spawn Ickers, Krogs explode, and the Crushers buff the other ads. So that's the kill order. Ickers first, Blood Hexers second, Krogs third, and Crushers last. Make sure to keep the Blood Hexers constantly interrupted and AoE stun the Krogs. Throughout the fight, a small purple circle will appear on the ground. One ranged DPS or healer needs to stand in the pool until it disappears. This player will take a lot of magic damage for 20 seconds. A red swirly debuff will go out on 2 random players occasionally throughout the fight. These players need to get away from the raid separately until the debuff expires, doing raid-wide damage. Also, when the debuff expires, it spawns 3 small ads near each player that needs to be dispelled quickly, which instantly kills the ads. This is one of the reasons why we have the markers. One of the players with the red swirly debuff need to go to triangle while the other player goes to diamond. Setting up a dispel rotation beforehand is key to making this smooth. Make sure to have 2 to 3 players for each marker to cover dispels. Priest Mass Dispel works best, Blood Elf's Arcane Torrent works great, and worst case you'll need to single dispel the 3 ads using abilities like Purge and Consume Magic. 2 Blood Hexers will occasionally spawn near the edge of the platform. 1 will spawn on Star and 1 will spawn on Skull. Hard CC the one on Star and interrupt and move the one on Skull to the boss and kill it. When the first Blood Hexer dies, break the CC on Star, interrupt it, and kill it as well. This Blood Hexer will spawn an Icker, just kill it before it gets to the boss. A Crusher will spawn near the edge of the platform shortly after every set of Blood Hexers. A tank needs to bring this ad to the boss and face it away from the raid. A few seconds before the Crusher gets to full energy, the tank needs to take it to the Skull marker as it'll cast a buff on any ads within 30 yards. After the cast, bring it back to the boss and kill it. At 40%, Zool will cast a raid-wide knockback and begin phase 2. The longer you are in phase 1, the more healing will be required in phase 2. For phase 2, Zool is now tankable. Finish off any ads that are left over from phase 1. Keep Zool near the center of the platform and immediately face him away from the raid. He will frequently cast a frontal cone on the current tank that puts a 20-second stacking bleed on that tank. At 3 stacks, the tank should taunt swap, and the tank with the stacks should get to the edge of the platform quickly. When the bleed expires, it creates a massive red pool on the ground. Do not stand in this. 2 random players will occasionally be feared and start running towards the edge of the platform. Both players need to be dispelled once they are just a few yards from the edge of the platform. Dispelling these players does a huge amount of raid-wide damage and spawns 5 small ads that also need to be dispelled just like in phase 1. Again, Mass Dispels and Arcane Torrent are great tools for these ads. The small purple circles that need to be soaked by ranged in healers continue to spawn during this phase as well. They're dealt with in the exact same way as in phase 1. And that's pretty much the fight. It's a lot of little things that add up quickly to be pretty chaotic. You can find more guides at readycheckpull.com.